check the pop. Rare pull, clean mint, watch it rock. Collectors tapped in, never off the clock. Wonders Market Watch.
Hi everybody, this is Slappy White with Radish Digital. We're going to focus on a new community member who's making a huge splash. You might know him as TXDireWolf, Texas Direwolf. He goes by Hawk. He also goes by William, but he's probably made the biggest splash of any new member to the Wonders community that we've ever seen in the shortest amount of time. So without further ado, let's bring Hawk, William, up on stage. Hey, William, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How about you?
Good, good, good. So, William, it's so good to get to meet you. It's interesting. It's you and I have been communicating now for, it feels like weeks, William, and I'm shocked when I go back and I look in different conversations that you and I have, and you go 1,000 miles an hour. Now, anybody looking at you right now and the fact that your body's not in motion would be surprised that you're probably the busiest person in Wonders of the First history, aside from the team. Are you the type of person who goes 1,000,000 miles an hour on everything he does?
I have a tendency that if it's something I'm really interested in and passionate about, I pretty much throw myself into it. So once I decide that that's the object I want to try to pursue or something I'm interested in, I pretty much put a lot of time and effort into it.
Okay, and so looking back at just our discussion and this is the first time we're meeting each other face to face, when we had a conversation on March 31st, and of course this is being recorded live on April 2nd, 2026, is when we spoke to each other. I said, Tex, do you mind if I ask, says you joined the Wonders Discord just a week ago. Have you been collecting outside of Discord for a while, or are you just full on into it immediately? Because you struck me as somebody who was a Wonders maxi and hadn't found the community. And then once you found the community, it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. This guy's been like heavy into it, just didn't find the Discord before now. Your response was, less than a week ago, I had never heard of this game. I am full on. I've decided to dump all my MTG collection and move that money into this game, learn this game, and then in capital letters, become this game. And then you said, calm down, calm down. I have been on Discord, just not this Discord. And that blew me away. So a lot to unpack there, William. Let's start with this. You said a week ago, and of course we're recording this 2 days later. So what day last week was it that you found Wonders of the First?
I think it's when I went into Facebook and I started seeing Wonders of the First advertisement popping up. And I was like, well, this is intriguing. It kind of looks like magic. Let's go look at it. And I watched a few videos, and next thing I know, I'm going down this rabbit hole and getting on Discord and trying to find the game, and the rest is history.
Well, let's get into that history. All right, so that was a week ago. And so now you mentioned, I just quoted you and you said, I'm dumping all my MTG collection and moving that money into this game. So talk to us about Magic, like your background. When did you start playing Magic? Well, do you play and collect Magic, or do you just do one or the other? And how long has that been going on?
When the 5th edition came out, that's when I started collecting. I collected off and on. I started pursuing unusual cards like judge promos and award cards like Friday Night the Magic. And I started collecting. And I didn't really have a shop for me to play at. So it was collect and try to build decks and go try to find a shop, because I was having to drive 30 miles or more to find a shop because I lived out in the country. That was up in North Texas. I got out of Magic for a while, got back into Magic about 9 months ago. Dug up my old cards, dumped some of them to get some value so I'd have something, store credits, and tried to pursue it again. But it just wasn't the same Magic that I had been around back at the 5th edition. It had greatly changed. It had this invasion of non-Magic type in universes. And I said, well, give it some time, because there's some universe stuff. Let's see if the in-universe stuff meets what I'm wanting. It's not piqued my interest again. And so, and I'm somebody who collects, like I said, I collect oddity cards. I've got Gaia's Cradle. I have a Judge promo of Gaia's Cradle. I have two of them. I have 4 regular ones. Well, Judge promos, Gaia's Cradles are $3,000 a piece. And I got it so that whenever I played it in a game and I'm playing a proxy, somebody says, well, that's a proxy. You can't play with that. And I say, well, you want me to put this in my deck instead? And usually that's enough to move on. But like I said, Magic just hasn't grabbed me again. And so I guess I was really trying to look for something else to grab me. And this came along and this intrigued me.
William, when is the last time you actually played Magic, like physically played Magic?
When Turtles released. I was at the Turtle release night.
Okay. And so with Wonders of the First, looking at Wonders of the First, you went down the rabbit hole. You were, you found the Discord, you said, after you went down the rabbit hole. So you were looking at YouTube videos, you were looking at their website. What was it that made you, what did you find in the rabbit hole that made you decide, like, yeah, this is for me. I'm switching. I'm going from Magic to Wonders of the First.
Well, I kind of state that on Discord today. Today, I made a statement in feedback saying, the people I've dealt with in this Discord and in this game are a lot more friendlier and a lot more involved and a lot more personable. You've got individuals who are trying to help new collectors and new players. And in Magic, it seems like there is a chasm between the individual player who's coming into the industry and somebody who's been playing around. And I'm not seeing that chasm between the new players and new collectors and the ones that have been here since day one. So I see a lot more personality, a lot more involvement, a lot more friendliness, a lot more closeness. And that draws me. I'm a personable person. I like being around people and stuff, and I like enjoying others. And there's not an elite feeling in this game. Where Magic, I go into my local shop, there's a certain amount of eliteness that when you walk in the shop, well, these guys have been playing around for a year and they're not going to want to play Commander with me. You try to sit down and play with Commander and there's no give, you could be a brand new player with a brand new Commander deck and they knock you into the next county. They don't care. They don't care. And so they're all about the win, not about creating bonds, not creating something between two individuals. It's all about what can I get out of you? And I'm not feeling that in this game. I'm feeling like everybody is on both sides of the table with you. If I'm trying to load up a tabletop simulator and trying to get a game going sometime, hopefully tonight, maybe, if I can get all the software fixed up. So,
well, and so that was going to be my next question on Wonders. So have you played it physically in person yet? No. Tabletop, you haven't played your first tabletop game yet. You haven't played your first physical card yet. Okay, so this is, you're definitely a collector and a player equally. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I bid out a big chunk of the industry when I started chasing after stone foils. As you know, as well as some of the other individuals on Discord, I took it to the nth degree and went out there and started chasing stone foils. So,
yes.
So, and I've started getting them in.
And then we can see that you've moved up to, you've been in Wonders of the First for 1 week. You are now number 5 on the leaderboard for top owners of stone foils with 11. So of those 11, how many do you actually have in hand now?
5.
Oh, here, I can put you in the big screen. So you can go ahead and show that. Let me here you go, William.
I got this one.
The glow cap fungus. Yep.
And this one. This one. And this one. Oh,
okay.
Whoop. I got it upside down.
Yep. There, it's good now. Yep. Okay, and let's go ahead. Yes, that's like, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look now. Is that we have we pulled up all the ones you have. Is that, let's see, I'm heading over to radishdigital.com. That's digital with a J, radishdigital.com /stone tracker. And if you want to go there, you can see what everybody has for when you look at the leaderboard and you want to know who owns what stone, or if you're looking up your favorite stone, you want to know if it's ripped, you can take a look there. If you also want to offer a bounty, that's the other thing, by the way, William, if you're looking for more, we do offer, there's a toggle at the top that says bounty. So if there's a bounty offered, you can, if you want to make an offer, you can let us know. We'll put that in here. If you're somebody who hit a stone and you want to see if there's a bounty offered on the stone you hit, you can look here. Also, if you have it for sale, you can let us know. We'll put it in here so folks know how much you're selling it for. All right, but taking a look at these. All right, the first one we've got up, and we'll just go through quickly. But if you end up having a, if we'll go ahead and take a look at these, and if you have anything you want to remark about it, you know, a funny story about how you, why you got it, who the trade partner was, a good story about that, we'll just go through them quickly. All right, the first one we have coming up here is that we have the is we're going to go ahead. This one is, you're talking about the adorable vermin. This is the alt art version, and this one was you've collected 11 now over a week. Was this towards the beginning or towards the end?
That's probably in the first 3 days.
Okay. Anything you want to mention about this one?
That interaction went rather well. People on Discord find out that if you show me a stone foil up on Discord, probably within the hour, I'm going to be DMing you and saying, "Hey, you want to sell that? Huh? Huh?" So.
All right, next one up is that we're going to be looking at the Heiress of Thalwyn, and this one, of course, this is a mythic, and that's the thing, is you certainly have a nice collection, including mythics. So I think that was one of the ones you just showed us. It was a little hard to see in the light, but so anything you want to say about this one?
Let's see here. No, I don't have anything special on that one. Most of every person I've dealt with in the pursuing these, it's been really smooth. We usually come to an agreement probably within, if we can be sending messages back and forth with each other regularly, we can usually solve this in about 10 minutes. And usually I've already sent the money by PayPal and we're moving on, you know, and I try to make my interactions smooth with somebody. I'm not real aggressive. I know what I kind of want to pay, and if we're in the area, we'll usually work it out rather well. I've only had 3 stone foils that failed. Individual was working with me and sold it out from under me. And then 2 other ones, we started going along, we're in negotiations, and they're like, well, I decided I'm going to keep it after all. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And that's the way it went. So,
yeah, by a seller's remorse, but before the sale actually goes through. I think we've all been there. You think about selling it, but it's very hard to let these stone foils go. I only have 1, and so it would be very hard for me to let go of it. And so William, just to be clear, is that, and of course I'm leaving, you can see the ones I put them up there.
Mhm.
Again, you can go to radishdigital.com/stone tracker. Also, just a reminder, if you hit one, there is a submit your stone button up there. So just go ahead and submit it there. We'll get you included in there and get your stone up there. But where are you going to stop, William? I mean, if money was no object and people were willing to sell, where would you stop out of the stones? How many would you go to?
If money was no object and people were willing to sell, then
Yep.
I would say the sky's the limit. I mean, I enjoy these. I mean, I've got non-stone. I've got some slabs that I've picked up in some sales. So, you know, I've it's not necessarily just stones. I mean, I've negotiated like I'm not going to pan the camera around because it looks like a junk pile around here, but I've got a pretty good selection in less than a week. I've actually run into two individuals who decided that they're, because of financial issues, they need to get out of it, and we came to negotiate. I actually drove 4.5 hours for one individual, and we sat in a parking lot, negotiated. I bought everything he had. He walked away with cash, and that put a pretty good dent in my collecting, trying to get stuff. So,
And
you know,
William, do you put a focus on the existence set over Call of the Stones since it's the first set that came out? Are you seeing that as, the Call of the Stones is a little bit different? Of course, there were celebrities that were brought in to be part of the set, so that makes it so it's interesting. You have the true first set, which is existence, but then you have a Call of the Stones, which is really almost like a different game altogether, the way that from a collector standpoint with what was added. But are you seeing one set differently than the other, or you're just collecting Call of the Stones existence regardless? And of course, to make your deck, you're going to want to collect on both.
right. I'm collecting everything. A lot of the stuff coming down the pike right now has been the most recent release, so therefore I'm getting a lot more of that. I've started changing my focus on my loose cards. They're now the existence set that I'm trying to pursue. I'm in negotiations with a couple of individuals to buy extras from them to build up and start seeing whatever's out there and start looking at the text and trying to figure out and do some studying and figure out how to create decks based off individuals that have already played in the industry. I'm friends with one of the guys that is a professional player, and he's guiding me, how to do stuff. And so I'm rather new to this, so I'm more on the collecting side at this moment, but with the long-term plan of get enough stuff so that I can build decks and then go play. And it's not necessarily the win, it's the camaraderie, going to a convention, meeting some of these people I've been talking to on Discord face to face, having fun.
So right now, is your plan to go to the Dragon Cup in November in Columbia, South Carolina, the World Championship?
As it sits right now, yes, is my plan to go to as many conventions as I possibly can go to in the upcoming time frames. I'm definitely going to try to hit Las Vegas. I'll definitely try to be in Dallas, and I'll try to be in the next Shattering and go meet some of these people I've got names for, but I don't have faces for.
Okay.
So.
And William, is that you mentioned you're dumping your MTG and you're going all in on Wonders. So what percentage of your Magic collection have you dumped in the week since you found Wonders? Or is it the process just starting?
The process is just starting, but I've already contacted a store I know rather well and already informed him that he better set aside some time because I'm bringing all my stuff in.
Wow. All right. Well, William, is that I know you've made a big splash on the community, so I appreciate you sitting down, taking time. Any final words for the rest of the community that you want? I think you summed it really well when you talked about community, and that's one of the things you found here and you like. I don't know if you can top that, but anything, what's next for you? Like what your next focus is, or any final words you want to share?
I'd have to say that the things that I'm going to focus on now is trying to meet some of the individuals face to face. I've reached out to a few of the guys that are here in Texas, or guys and girls here in Texas. I'm going to try to, go meet some of them, get together face to face. I've started calling around to stores saying, hey, are you going to have this product in store? Are you going to have space for us to play this? Or are you just strictly a Magic Pokemon store and you're not going to give any space to, this game?
Sure.
Because I want to get some feelings. Like I said, I've got some friends that I can probably pull some space from them, but they're kind of limited on how much space they have to dedicate. And so I'm probably going to have to go to a cafe. One of the places I go to and played Magic at is literally it rotates between 3 or 4 cafes where you can just go eat and drink, and they set aside part of us the area for us to play. And so that's probably going to be more along the lines of what I'm going to have to pursue initially. So
Sure. Okay. Well, listen, William, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to meet you at the next Wonders event where we both find ourselves.
thank you so much for this opportunity to be interviewed.
Thank you, everyone. This is Slappy White with Radish Digital.
Check the floor, check the pop, rare pull, clean mint, watch it rock. Collectors tapped in, never off the clock. Wonders Market Watch.